The most advanced humanoids from China you must see. China is building humanoid robots so fast, it's starting to look unfair, not because they're perfect, not because they're fully autonomous, but because the newest Chinese humanoids are showing up with something most humanoids never had. Real product pages, real specs, and in some cases, real prices. And once you see what's already shipping, what's already getting tested in factories, you'll understand why the rest of the world is suddenly acting like humanoids are the next smartphone war. So today, the most advanced humanoids from China you must see. Yes, the title is clickbait, but the robots? Not clickbait. We're going to cover the platforms you keep seeing online, what they can actually do, the AI stacks they claim, the constraints nobody puts in the highlight reel, why China is moving so fast, and the real bottlenecks that decide whether these become workers or just very expensive TikTok dancers. Let's go. Before we start the robot parade, one reality check. A humanoid doing a backflip is not the same as a humanoid doing a job. A lot of insane humanoid clips are choreographed, heavily tuned, sometimes teleoperated, and almost always done in controlled environments. So when I say advanced, I mean one thing. The full stack is getting real. Hardware is becoming accessible. Developer ecosystems are forming, factories are testing, and the prices are dropping. Now, let's meet the lineup. 1. Unitree H, the full-size humanoid that moves like it means it. If you've seen a humanoid jogging like it's late for a meeting, it's probably a Unitree. The Unitree H1 is their full-size universal humanoid, and the official spec sheet reads like a flex. About 180 centimeters tall, about 47 kilograms, 3.3 meters per second listed moving speed, 864 watt-hours battery that's quickly replaceable, and a perception stack that includes 3D LiDAR and depth camera for 360-degree depth sensing, with a stated maximum joint torque of 360 Newton-meters. Now the wild part, you can go to Unitree's own shop and see the H1 listed at $90,000, with the very honest note, contact us for the real price. That one line tells you where the industry is right now. It's commercial, but still negotiable. So what can it do? Right now, H1 is the big body platform. Locomotion, balance, mobility, research, and early pilots. It's not your warehouse employee tomorrow, but it's a full-size humanoid you can actually buy, and that changes everything. Because once there's a platform, the ecosystem shows up. Okay, now let's talk about the one that really freaked people out. 2. Unitree G1, the humanoid that made people say, wait, that's the price? The Unitree G1 is smaller than H1, and it's positioned like an AI avatar or developer platform. Unitree's own product page highlights imitation and reinforcement learning driven, force-controlled dexterous hand with force-position hybrid control for precise operation of objects, and 23 to 43 joint motors depending on configuration. But here's why the G1 went viral. Unitree lists the G1 on its official shop at $13,500. That's the moment the internet went from humanoids are a science project to humanoids might become a product category. Now, do not misunderstand what you're buying at that price. You're not buying a guaranteed job doer. You're buying a humanoid platform that can be trained, tuned, and extended. And that's exactly why China looks like it's moving fast. Because speed comes from iteration, and iteration comes from access. Next, the company that's pushing humanoids directly into factory workflows. 3. UBTech Walker S, humanoids built for the assembly line. UBTech is one of the biggest names in China's humanoid scene, and their industrial humanoid line is Walker. On UBTech's own official page, Walker S is described as an industrial humanoid designed for synchronized operations on factory assembly lines, with core competencies like multimodal large model-based decision-making, hand-eye coordination and whole-body manipulation, robust self-balancing, and all-terrain autonomous adaptation. Notice what they're selling, not a cool robot. A factory teammate, and UBTech has been testing this idea in real plants. In a Shenzhen government update, summarizing UBTech's statements, UBTech said its Walker S Lite worked for 21 consecutive days at Zeeker's factory, doing tasks like packing and securing cargo in the cargo transport unit. That's not the robot did one demo. That's the robot showed up repeatedly. Now, was it as fast as a human? Not yet. Even Chinese state media has noted early efficiency shortfalls in trials like this. But that's the real story. The factory tests are happening now, even while the robots are still imperfect. Because the value proposition isn't robot replaces human. It's robot absorbs the boring, heavy, repetitive tasks and gets better every quarter. Now for a platform that's quietly trying to solve the biggest humanoid problem of all: data. 4. Agibot A2, the sensors everywhere humanoid with a data play. Agibot is building humanoids that look like they're designed for deployment, not just demos. On Agibot's official product page for A2, they publish a full-spec snapshot: 169 centimeters height, 69 kilograms weight, 700 watt-hours battery, about 2 hours runtime with battery swapping support, 40-plus active degrees of freedom, plus a sensor suite list that reads like, yes. LiDAR, microphones, dexterous hands, RGBD cameras, fisheye cameras, force and torque sensors. But the most important line isn't even on the A2 page. It's on Agibot's main site. They're promoting Agibot World, described as a large-scale, enterprise-quality, realistic task dataset and ecosystem for embodied AI. Translation: they're not just trying to build a humanoid, they're trying to build the training fuel that makes humanoids useful. Because here's the secret. In humanoids, the hardware is only half the product. The other half is data, training, and reliability. Okay, next robot, one of the most developer-friendly, research-first humanoids coming out of China. 5. Limex Ollie, the humanoid that's basically a developer kit with legs. Limex Dynamics Ollie is being marketed as a full-size embodied AI research and development platform. On Limex's official page, 165 centimeters tall, 31 degrees of freedom, with a breakdown by head, arm, waist, and leg, plus modular interfaces and full Python development support. But the craziest detail is on their spec page. They mention a computing backpack configuration like NVIDIA AGX Orin, 64 gigabytes of RAM, and 275 TOPS of computing power. That's not toy robot language. That's, we expect you to run real perception and control stacks on device. They also list an action library of pre-built motions: dance, bowing, punching, etc. And yes, that's partly for demos. But it's also a sign of where this market is going. Humanoids are becoming platforms, and platform wars are about developer tools, interfaces, simulation, and iteration speed. Now, let's talk about a Chinese humanoid that's aimed at general-purpose practical applications and openly leans into the LLM-powered angle. 6. Fourier GR-1, general-purpose humanoid with practical positioning. Fourier Intelligence's GR-1 is another major Chinese humanoid platform, and Fourier publishes both marketing pages and official PDFs. On Fourier's official product page, GR-1 is listed with 165 centimeters height, 55 kilograms weight, and human-like interaction, including the claim it's powered by LLM to enhance conversation and task automation. And in Fourier's GR-1 PDF, they describe GR-1 as a general-purpose humanoid with advanced motion control, including a peak torque of 230 Newton-meters, and position it for research and education and embodied AI scenarios. Now, powered by LLM is the trendy phrase. But what matters is what it's trying to become: a humanoid platform that can actually be used in practical environments, not just staged demos. Okay. Now let's switch gears to one of China's speed demons. 7. Robot Era Star 1, the torque monster built for dynamic motion. Robot Era's Star 1 is marketed like a performance machine. In Robot Era's own Star 1 PDF, they highlight maximum joint torque of 400 Newton-meters and rotational speeds up to 25 radians per second. And on Robot Era's official application page, they explicitly position Star 1 for manufacturing collaboration, automotive assembly line tasks, plus 3C manufacturing tasks like assembly, quality inspection, packaging, and material handling. Is that fully solved factory work? No. But again, the point is not perfection. The point is, China has multiple teams building humanoids with credible motion hardware and publishing industrial intent. Now we need to talk about the part that explains China's speed better than any viral clip. The national push. 8. Why China is moving so fast. This isn't just startups being startups. China is treating humanoids like a strategic industry. Here are the 2 signals that matter. Signal number 1, national goals. China's State Council Information Office summarized a push to establish a preliminary innovation system for humanoid robots by 2025. That kind of timeline does something to an ecosystem. It compresses it. Signal number 2, standards and governance. Beijing's official site reported that China approved development work for its first national standards in the humanoid robot domain, covering areas like environmental perception, decision-making and planning, motion control, and task execution. Standards don't sound exciting until you realize what they do. They turn chaos into a supply chain. And then there's the open source signal. China's official government news site said an embodied AI Robotics Innovation Center launched an open-source initiative for Tiangong, described as the world's first full-size, purely electric humanoid robot, with an average speed of 10 kilometers per hour and a top speed of 12 kilometers per hour, and terrain capability including slopes, stairs, grass, gravel, and sand. Open source isn't charity. It's how you recruit thousands of developers into your ecosystem. So why does China look fast? Because it has manufacturing density, supply chain speed, government-aligned priorities, real test environments, factories, logistics, retail, and a growing pool of platform humanoids people can actually buy and develop on. But now, the part everyone skips, the bottlenecks. 9. The real bottlenecks. Why these humanoids are still not solved. Here are the hard constraints that decide who wins and who becomes a demo channel. Bottleneck number 1, hands and contact. Walking is hard, but hands are the final boss. A humanoid can be a world-class walker and still fail at picking up a slippery object without dropping it. That's why companies like Paxini are putting so much emphasis on tactile sensing, and why they're publicly marketing tactile infrastructure for embodied AI. Bottleneck number 2, battery and endurance. Look at the specs. 2 hours runtime, quick swap batteries, replaceable packs. That's not a weakness. That's an admission. Energy density is still limiting. Bottleneck number 3, reliability over time. Factory reality is not does it work, it's does it work every day, for months, with dust, bumps, weird edge cases, and minimal downtime. Humanoids are still learning to be durable. Bottleneck number 4, data that matches the job. Robots don't learn from the internet the way language models do. They learn from demos, teleoperation, simulation, real-world repetition, and painful validation. That's why dataset plays like Agibot World matter. Bottleneck number 5, safety around humans. Humanoids operating near people need safe failure modes. When a robot arm makes a mistake behind a fence, you stop the line. When a humanoid makes a mistake next to a person, you have a different kind of problem. So yes, the robots are advanced, but advanced doesn't mean ready to replace jobs at scale. It means the platforms are maturing, and the iteration cycle is speeding up. Which leads to the last question. 10. What this changes in the next 12 to 24 months. Here's the prediction that actually matters. The next 12 to 24 months won't be about humanoids taking over the world. It'll be about humanoids winning a few specific categories: material handling and internal logistics, parts sequencing, inspection support, and repetitive tasks in controlled industrial zones. And the biggest trend will be a silent one: humanoids becoming cheaper, more available, and more developer-friendly. The scariest humanoid isn't the fastest. It's the one that becomes a platform anybody can buy, train, and deploy in a niche, because that's how tech scales. Not through one killer robot, through 1,000 good enough robots that get better fast. So those are some of the most advanced humanoids from China you need to see right now. Unitree pushing accessibility with G1 and full-size capability with H1. UBTech aiming straight at factories with Walker S, Agibot building sensors and the data pipeline. Limex Ollie turning humanoids into developer kits. Fourier pushing general-purpose positioning, robot-era flexing dynamic motion and industrial intent, and even Tiangong as a government-backed open-source signal. Now I want to hear from you. Which one do you think becomes the Android of humanoids, the platform everybody builds on, And which one is just going to be a demo machine forever? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, robots, AI, and the stuff that's going to reshape work way before it reshapes your home, subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Because the humanoid era isn't a single launch, it's a price war with legs.